My name is Hannah Liddy and I'm Museum Manager here at Trowbridge Museum. My job is to take overall responsibility of the museum site, managing all its departments and our wonderful team of volunteers. The museum has been located in Home Mills, a working woolen cloth mill until 1982, since 1990. The museum tells the story of this woolen cloth production, how it made the town of Trowbridge incredibly wealthy and well known, and how our cloth was exported around the world. We also hold thousands of social history objects that help tell the story of this town and the people that made it their home. We also tell the story of other interesting and significant sites across the town. Home Mills. Trowbridge Park. The Town Hall. The canal. The almshouses. St James's Church. Handel House. The Blind House. Parade House. We'd love you to meet the team.
My name's Andrea Bartlett and I'm the Retail and Income Generation Officer here at Trowbridge Museum. My job's pretty varied. I look after the shop, so that entails buying the stock, displaying the shop and just managing all of the financial aspects to do with that. Get the pricing, these are all hand knitted by our volunteers.
Me.
Raise quite a lot of money for us. I'm also responsible for the room hire in the museum, and I do funding and grant applications and think of ways that we can set up schemes to try and make a bit more money for the museum. Apart from that, I work with the rest of the team helping set up the exhibitions, and everybody just pitches in because we're only a little team. So that's basically my job in a nutshell.
My name is David Burks and I'm the Learning and Outreach Officer for Trowbridge Museum. What do? I do anything that's sort of learning and outreach, which is primary schools, activities, history activities, holiday activities, so that could be crafts, it could be history days. I also do sort of lifelong learning, which is talks and walks for adults, and anything that someone asks me to do, I will do it. I dress up, I do crafts, I go out to people, I go to care homes, etc.
My name's Beatrice. I am the Learning and Outreach Assistant at Trowbridge Museum. So in my role I help out with all aspects of planning and delivery of learning and outreach activities. So on a daily basis I'll be helping to plan and set up school workshops and welcoming the children from our local schools, and then leading one of the activities and generally being part of the team, implementing the whole learning aspect of the museum. I'll also help set up the holiday workshops we have during the holidays, so welcoming the families and helping them with the craft activities that we run during the half terms and summer holidays.
Hello, my name's Kathy.
I'm a museum assistant here at Trowbridge Museum. My job involves getting involved with all the work across the departments. So sometimes I might help in collections, or sometimes I might be doing something for the income generation and retail team, and at other times I'll be working with the learning and outreach team. So it's really varied, and because of that it's really very interesting. I particularly like working at Trowbridge Museum because I have a strong interest in the woolen trade. I'm a hand spinner in my own time, so anything to do with wool really excites me, so I love there's a connection with the woolen trade.
I'm Hannah Randall, I'm one of the assistants here at Trowbridge Museum. I work with most of the departments doing various tasks. Most of what I do at the moment is with the collections and exhibitions. So recently we've just put up a new exhibition, our temporary exhibition space, which is just behind me over here. We do one big exhibition a year and then several smaller ones. So the one that we've just set up is 'Tis the Season, which is one of our festive exhibitions, focusing on all sorts of winter traditions, not just Christmas. I also work a lot with the collections, so I deal with things like inquiries. So if someone has a question about a particular object in the collection, they send an email or they fill in an inquiry form and I respond to those, help people get information thereafter. If they're looking for family history things, sometimes we can point them in the right direction. If we have something in the collection, they might be asking after a particular company or for a photograph of a particular event. Those are the kind of things that I deal with mainly.
So sometimes objects get taken out of boxes because they need to go out on display. So once they've been taken out, they're finished on display, we've got to put them back in the right box. So we have an online system, so we just type in the number of the object, because they all have their own object numbers. Type it in the online system and it will tell us which box they belong in. And then we go into the back storeroom to just pop it back in its box. So this one needs to go back in box 37. So we just head on into the storeroom. This is our climate controlled storeroom. So it needs to be kept at a certain temperature and a certain humidity, and it needs to be kept dark when it can. So just head along and find box 37. And we just pop it back in the box. And then it can be safely returned to its correct spot. This gets used with new exhibitions usually every 3 months, sometimes they're a bit longer. So we usually have one big exhibition which lasts over the summer, which lasts about 6 months. Every 2 years it's a festival called the West of England Festival of Textiles, and then we have every other year we have another big exhibition that gets curated for about 6 months. We usually have some kind of festive exhibition as well, and we quite often have photography exhibitions. So this space behind us gets changed quite regularly. So every time you come in, we're probably going to have something different in that space. We also have a small community space area, which is just off to my right, just off screen. And this one gets used for much shorter exhibitions, so that community groups can advertise and they can put displays about various activities that they've got running. It can be displayed in this area just here as well.
Today, Trowbridge is a diverse, dynamic town with lots of modern buildings like the Shire Shopping Centre, the Civic and the Odeon Cinema, but it will always have its roots within the industry of woolen cloth production.
Trowbridge has such an amazingly rich history, and you often find that people in the community have got connections with the museum when it was a mill or some of the other businesses in town, and they'll come in and talk to you about their experiences, which just adds to the history really and makes it really interesting.
So I grew up in Gibraltar, so moving to Trowbridge was a very different kind of town. I love the close feel of it, the historic buildings, the really nice independent shops. There's a really rich history here in Trowbridge, which you can see very easily just by looking around when you're standing in the main street. And you really get that sense of community here that you don't in bigger cities and places like Bath. It tends to be more about tourists these days, whereas Trowbridge is really more down to earth with its history, and I really like that about the town.
So I do enjoy being part of sort of the cultural heart of Trowbridge, and it's a really nice sized town to be part of. It's got really useful, practical sides to it, as well as being very close to the canal and really beautiful bits of the country, such as Westbury White Horse, and just the wealth of the cultural heritage in the area is just amazing, and I'm discovering it still day by day. So it's really exciting time to be living in Trowbridge. Lots of the mills are being redeveloped at the moment, and it's nice to be part of the regeneration of the town.
We hope that in this developing townscape, the museum serves the needs of this community as a cultural hub. Thank you for taking the time to learn about Trowbridge Museum today. If you'd like to find out more about any aspect of what we do, please visit our website at www.trowbridgemuseum.co.uk.